The stock seats in the Skyline kind of suck. Matter of fact, they're almost no different than the ones that are in this car. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on a second, because I think I just noticed something. These seats are actually identical to the seats in the Stagia, except the headrests are different. Now, I guess that shouldn't come as a surprise since these two cars are the same model year. They're both 98s, and Nissan kept the same seats in all the Skylines except the GTR. Now, these factory seats do offer some comfort. They're nice and wide. They do have a little bit of bolstering down here, but when it comes to the seat base, especially this one that's nice and worn by now, they don't offer much retention for your lower half in the seat. And overall, they look like an economy car. So we're going to be pulling these out and dropping in a set of Bride Euroster IIs. I think they're going to make a massive improvement both in feel and in look for the interior of the car. Let's get at it. This is what we're working with today. We got a nice set of Bride Euroster IIs. If you want to pronounce it in Japanese, it's Bride. But I'll pronounce it Bride. So we got the Euroster IIs in black, and it's kind of like a suede finish. And we're also going to be throwing on these little, what they call fashion protectors up top to protect from the seat belts. The seats are currently mounted on brand new Bride rails for the R34, so it should be pretty easy to get them in there. Fingers crossed. So before removing the seats, I kind of want to talk to you guys about what you should consider if you are thinking about replacing the seats in your car. So first, and probably the most important thing, the overall size of the seat, the height and the width. You want to make sure that it actually fits inside the car physically. If not, you won't be able to install them. Then you want to think about how you fit in the seats. So if you have a chance to try them out, to sit inside a car that has those seats, or to sit on a showroom, to sit on a sample seat, I would recommend it. If not, get your measurements, get your shoulder width, get your waist, and overall your length, and see how you would fit inside that seat, whether it's a reclining seat or a full bucket. If it's a car that you want to drive often, I would not recommend the bucket unless you've tried it and you like it, but the bucket is a little more difficult to get in and out of. Now, a reclining seat will give you almost a factory feel whenever you're climbing in and out of the car. Some other things to think about when you're buying seats are, do you need seat brackets? Do you need slider rails? Do you need any kind of airbag deletes? Seat position sensor? All right, so we are running low on daylight here because it's Florida and it's extremely hot, so I waited till the last minute to do this. So let's see what we got. We got 4 bolts for each seat and probably 1 large bolt for the belt buckle over there. So let me set up this camera and bring the tools over, and let's get started on pulling these out. All right, so it looks like 14s all around on all 4 bolts. So I got myself a socket set up and then a ratchet wrench just in case. So let's get to it. We'll start with the back. Try not to bust my knuckles up. That's always nice. All right, so we got the first 2 bolts out. Slide the seat all the way back and get the 2 bolts in the front out. Guys, and it was really that easy. I don't know why I waited so long to do this, but let's pull the seat out. Oh, almost forgot. We've got a connector in the bottom here for the seat belt. So let's get that connector off. All right, connector's off, so let's pull the seat out. Nice and easy. All right, so let's look at these two seats side by side and look at the differences. So off the bat, you see the bolstering is a lot more aggressive on the Bride seat. The design is a lot nicer, it looks sportier. You've got these holes here in case you want to run a full harness, and then you've got these up here to keep your shoulders in place. Let's swap over our belt buckle over to the Bride seat and we'll throw it back in the car. It is so hot here right now, man. I mean, I waited until late as possible and I'm still sweating. So we got the seat belt buckle slapped on the Bride seat, so now let's bring it on over and put it in here. Nice and careful. All right. So, we can't forget, let's connect the seatbelt sensor on there first. Okay. Get this in place. Everything lines up nice, looks like. And then we'll use these factory bolts to get it back in. So word of advice when you're doing something like this with something aftermarket is always present all the bolts first and then tighten them down afterwards. These metal parts, sometimes they're built on a jig, they don't all fit the same, so you want to make sure it's going to fit before you start tightening stuff down. All right, so I got all 4 bolts started, so let's go ahead and tighten them down. Right. That looks good in there. What do you think? Now over in the driver's side, we're going to do the same exact thing we did on the passenger side. 4 bolts, 1 connector, and yank this bad boy out. Let's get to it. All right, all the bolts are out. Let's pull this bad boy out. Can't forget the connector on the bottom. All right, so same deal. We're gonna take off this seatbelt buckle and we're gonna slap it over on the Bride, and then we'll bring it on over to the car. Since I didn't show you guys on the other seat, so it's just 2 screws and then 1 14mm bolt to get the seatbelt buckle off of there. And then the Bride seat rail does have a mounting point for it. We could take a moment to appreciate the beautiful colors of the Florida sky after a nice sunset. Got the seatbelt on the other Bride seat, so let's go ahead and toss it in here. Want to be as careful as possible. Anything, pivot it in there, shimmy, and we're in. So again, let's get all 4 bolts started before we tighten anything up. Almost. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to connect the seatbelt connector. Let's see if we can reach it. We got super lucky. Okay, well, seats are in. So let's try them out. Oh, that feels good. So off the bat, these seats hug me a lot tighter. Meaning whenever I'm trying to take some corners with the car, they're gonna hold me in place a little better than the stock seats would. But they're also not too tight to where if I'm driving the car for about an hour that I'm gonna feel uncomfortable kind of thing. These seats do still feel comfortable. All right, show you guys how they look. So immediately, these seats transform the interior of the car. You can't tell me that doesn't look sick. Little look here from the passenger side. One thing you can't do with the fixed buckets is bring the seats forward for a rear passenger. To me, that makes a huge difference. And also in the back, I got this little Bride booster seat for my oldest son. He loves riding in this car. So why not have a matching seat with Dad? All right, I think that's it for tonight. Seats are in. I'll go ahead and clean up. And maybe I'll take this car to a special Cars and Coffee tomorrow. And that way I'll get you guys some nice B-roll footage. Let's see how that goes. All right, good morning. So we're taking the car out to a Cars and Coffee down in Homestead and also giving the seats a little test run. So first impressions, they kind of transform the feel of the car, and I guess that's what transfers the feel of the car to your body is the seats. So that sort of emphasizes the importance of having a good set of seats in the car. But they feel comfortable. This is about a 45-50 minute drive. Like 15 minutes into it, still feel comfortable. But these seats are way different from the factory seats. They hug my shoulders. They hug my lower half a lot stronger than the factory seats do. I'm really not moving around in the seat at all. Versus the factory seat, I'd be, even if it's like micro movements, like an inch here, an inch there, you're still moving around and you're losing the feel of the car. But with this, I'm planted in here. I'm not moving at all. Catch up with you guys once we get to the Cars and Coffee. This event was hosted by Cars and Coffee Homestead at a very unique event venue, completely different from your typical Cars and Coffee or parking lot style car show you'd go to. The result is stunning scenery and extremely cool cars parked in places you wouldn't typically see them. So overall, I'm extremely satisfied with the seats. Love how they feel, love how they look, and how the work turns out on the car. And I'll let you guys see some of these cool cars that I enjoyed at the show. So we dipped out and tried to make it in time for Sweck's Porsche event, but we didn't make it in time. We were lucky enough that they let us walk around their showroom and their garage space where they had a few race cars, and we were even lucky enough to see a couple of beautiful Porsche Carrera GTs. So I'll leave you with that. If you like the video, please support by subscribing and liking, and I'll catch you guys next time.